However, you still have some, some of these young men on the ground or some of these liberation groups that do not have a structure, right? So when you talk about equipping these young men, is there any what is your suggestion so how do we determine which liberation movement really does the or in your opinion which liberation movement does the job on the ground, and will you think or will you say is the best movement to fund or to equip the fighters on the ground?
But I must say, from my observation at this point, I salute the work of on the ground. I salute the organization of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, which I have followed closely. They are the only people, they are the only group on the ground that you can follow and get a clear, if something happens on the ground and you can follow a chain of command and get to the bottom of an issue. There are other groups who are doing extremely and excellently well in terms of pushing out the enemy, but the organization structure still leave much to be desired. Uh, we can be doing the very best of work, but if the goal is to have a country, we must also progress in a structural way so that checks and balances can be gotten. You know, it's easy today. Most people will just come. You can hear a lot of criticism about the ADF and when other people find it easy to just criticize because one, they are structured. So if something happens within the ADF, it's easy to trace. So, but other people are causing chaos, but they cannot be traced because they are just everywhere, and this is what we have to avoid. And most people follow. Most people who criticize the ADF most of the time just follows some of these pockets of incidents that they may not even understand. Then they go out there, and it's easy to lambast the organization because they are the most organized. I must say this: if you want to get to the bottom of anything, and you want to know who to call, I'm like Capo Daniel is the only one who is from the ADF, from all the other organizations that you can point to and say this is a command, and you go there. You don't have that in any other organizational structure out there that you see. People are not there to take responsibilities, and that is not the way to go for me. So I salute the work of the organization of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and the AGOVC, which are doing incredibly well. No one is yet closer to the organization that the Ambazonian Defense Force and the AGOVC has. But there are a lot of groups doing heavy work on the ground that are matching what in terms of action, that is another ball game. But the organization, the Ambazonian Defense Forces are incredible. That is the future of Ambazonian defense on the ground, no doubt about that. In that the Ambazonian Defense Forces have the most organized structure on the ground, as well as other groups that are there. They are working very hard in terms of action, but in terms of organization, the Amazonian Defense Forces are way ahead of organization that the other movements on the grounds do not have. They are the one movement that you can trace a story or an incident from ground up to the leadership, and you will find consistency. It doesn't that is not regular with the other groups.